Welcome to the Tikit demo series. In today's presentation, we're going to be working through and highlighting how Tikit works with ITIL change management. We will be reviewing some change requests we have in our system. We will be creating some and seeing how those flow through the web experience as well as through the Teams experience. We'll also be working from Diego's perspective mainly in today's presentation. He's my agent in my business. He'll be working through those change requests. Now, Tikit is a service desk that can wrap itself around any ITIL process, incident, change, service request, and so on. And you'll see here when Diego logs into the Tikit agent portal, which is our web experience, he's presented with a list of all sorts of different processes here, different incidents, different change requests, different service requests, things of that nature. Now he can work from this list, but he can also pivot into specific views that he cares about when reviewing change requests. So we'll jump over to a view that I created here for change requests. And once I get this list of change requests, I have the opportunity to review those changes that are in the business and be able to review them and move them through their different flows here. Now I have two types of changes in my business. I have a standard change and I have an emergency change. And let's take a peek at both of those. So we'll take a look at the standard change first. Ticket 1522. Now a change request, like all ITIL processes, can have one or multiple elements that allow for it to have mature governance and be able to capture questions and answers that are specific to that particular type of process. So you'll see here that Ticket 1522 is an upgrade to a web server I have in my business. And if I take a look at the life cycle that's around this business, the life cycle is going to represent the different phases that are required for this change to go through to be able to move from creation all the way through implementation. Now, complementary to that, we've also created a standard change form that is asking specific questions that my business needs to have answered as I move changes through the business. So you'll see here, my standard change form has a justification, an implementation plan, a test plan, a backup plan. And these data points that are filled out by the agent will be reviewed as this change goes through its life cycle. So when this was submitted, the first phase was to test the change, which has already been completed. And now we're sitting in the CAB approval phase. And this CAB approval phase needs to be approved by by myself, Diego, as well as Alex. So both of us need to approve it before it moves to the implementation phase. And then after it's implemented, a review phase. Now this is an example of a full standard change experience, but you can build any type of change process in your business, have any type of life cycle with as many phases as you like, and ask any questions and answers that you need to fulfill that change. So as a different example, let's take a look at what an emergency change may look like. So Ticket 1521 here is an emergency change. And you'll see here that this emergency change just has two phases. It has a little bit of a slimmed down set of questions I'm asking. So in my business, emergency changes just need a justification, an implementation plan, and a backup plan, and along with when we're actually going to do the actual implementation of it. And then we're going to have two phases here. We're going to have an approval phase and then a go do phase here. Now, this is the experience of reviewing changes, and we're reviewing them currently in the web. Now, what I want to do is I want to pivot into creating a change from scratch and then seeing how it can flow through the web. Then we'll also bounce over to Teams to see how that flows through Teams, because agents can work both in the web and Teams as they're working on any process to include change management requests. So we'll go over to the ticket list here and we'll add a new ticket. Now, when I create a new ticket, and specifically when I'm creating a change, I'm going to first apply a template here. And I have a bunch of templates that are going to drive different business processes. But for me, I have two change processes here. So I'm going to choose my standard one here, which is my bigger full one. Now, I'm being presented here with a list of properties that are going to be set when this ticket is created. So we're going to move this into a change. We're going to set some categories, things of that nature. We're also going to apply that life cycle, which is a set of workflows and phases. And then we're going to get the opportunity to answer the questions here for the actual change. So what's my justification here? Web 01 is running slow, just like similar to the other one that we saw there. Implementation plan, upgrade, the Azure service plan, test and QA for my test plan, backup plan, point in time restore with Azure, in Azure, excuse me. Risk and impact analysis, low risk, typical upgrade. Supported by Microsoft. And then when am I going to implement it? I'll do it tomorrow. And the time here, I'll do 5:30 p.m. And I'll go ahead and save this out. Now, after I've actually set the template and fill out the form here, I'll fill out the rest of the actual request here. So need to upgrade Web 01 as it's running slow. Add some DTUs. Diego's the one requesting this, so I'll go ahead and make him the requester here. And all those other properties are set for the change here. So I'll go ahead and create this change here. And what will happen here is this change request will be created. Ticket 1434 will be created. It'll be dropped right into my change request view here because it's a change. And you'll see here that we're already in our first phase, which is the test change phase. Now, I'm seeing this ticket in the web, and I'm seeing it in the list here. Now, this ticket itself also has in phase 1 a task, and that task is to go test this change. And just to containerize the demo here, Diego is the one that's assigned this task. So he can come in here and complete this task if he wants to. But he also has a visibility to this change from a task perspective in a couple of other areas here. One is in my work. So my work is going to show me all tickets, tasks, and approvals that are assigned to me. And you'll see here, if I jump over the task tab here, I can see ticket 1534 is asking me to test the change in QA. And if I click on that, I'm brought into the change, into the context of that phase, and I can actually then move that forward, which I'm going to do here. So this is going to be completed because I successfully tested it in QA. And then we're going to move this process forward in the system here. Now, when this moves from the first phase to the second phase, which is now the CAB approval, I'm now sending this out to 2 individuals, myself as well as Alex. And there's a note here that all participants must approve or reject this approve this to move this forward. If they reject it, it fails out the actual change request. Now, you can review these tickets in a CAB meeting, go through them and review them and approve them and things of that nature. But what I want to show is how individuals could gain visibility to these change requests inside of Teams as well. So I'm going to bounce over to Diego's Teams experience, and I'm going to highlight a few things here. Move my base over here. Okay, so Tikit has the ability to be deployed to multiple teams. And why I'm mentioning that right now is that you'll see here, Tikit is deployed to the IT team, the facilities team, and the telecom team. But it's also deployed to the change management team. And the reason why I've done that is because in my business, I only want change management folk to gain visibility to these tickets. And by assigning these tickets to the change management team and the change request support group, I'm partitioning out the security of these change requests so that if a regular help desk, service desk agent, desktop agent, even a server cloud agent logs in, if they're not a member of this change management team, they don't get visibility to it in Teams. They also don't get visibility into the web here. Now here is the change that I filled out, and we're currently in the CAB approval phase here. And what I want to show here is that now that we're in this approval phase, you'll see here that in this phase, Diego, again, because just to containerize this presentation, Diego is one of the approvers. And he is sent inside of Ticket Virtual Agent, which is a mechanism for us to send notifications out through Teams. He sent the actual approval here. Now, he can approve this in the web. He could also approve this in email. But what I want to show here is how to do that in Teams here. So he's given that information here. And if he wants to, he can approve his portion of this request here, which will update himself visually and then move his portion of that process forward here. Now, if I were to bounce back over to Tikit 1534 here, we'll see that his approval has been taken care of, and we're now waiting on Alex's approval to either move this forward to the implementation phase or to reject it and cancel out the change request. So again, to highlight, what have we done today? We created, we worked through ITIL, some ITIL processes, some change management processes. We've highlighted how to review change requests. We've highlighted how to put lifecycle and governance around those change requests. We've worked through submitting and filling out custom forms, which again are really easy to create and can be business aligned to any change management process. And then we walked through how we experience that in both the web as well as Teams. Appreciate you taking the time to watch this presentation. If you have any other questions, please email team@tikit.ai.